Good morning, friends. It's Gail here at Work of Art Greeley, and we are going to make fingerprint Christmas tree ornaments today. And this is a little guy that I made. You can see him here. He does not have a background color, so just to let you know, it will end up being white and glossy. And on the back, I have Work of Art Greeley 2021, and then the little hole for the ribbon up here on top, and then these are all the little fingerprints. So this is what you signed up for, and this is the link that's going to explain how to do this. Okie dokie. So if you have a to-go kit, here are your supplies. You are going to get a template that looks like this that you will have to cut out at home. It is not required that you follow this exactly. In fact, you could even make it a little bit bigger on the edge so that you have some room to smooth your edges down. But this is just a template. You'll need to cut that out, and you will end up with something that looks like this. And you can see mine is not perfectly even cut out. That's okay. It's a tree. It's nature. It doesn't have to be exact. And then you're going to get a slab of clay in a baggie, which is super important. It's sealed up nice and tight. And inside here, and this is really important, there is a slab of clay, and it is sitting on top of a piece of saran wrap. Now this piece of saran wrap is really important that we're going to work on. Otherwise our clay will stick to the paper and we'll get that on the back. So really important to keep that piece of saran wrap. You're also going to have a needle tool. It's really sharp, looks like this, got a little lid on it, and a cup with a sponge. You'll have to fill up and get some water in. You'll have a little gift card that we will use to smooth our clay, some assorted colors, and some paintbrushes. Okie dokie. So let's go ahead and get started. I've taken my clay out of the paper, and the very first thing I'm going to do is I am going to wipe off my little card here because I have some clay from before that I was using. So we want to make sure it's nice and clean. The little rim. If you need a paper towel, you can get one. The clay will wash out of your clothes, no worry. So I'm going to come in, and you can see, I don't know if you can see on the camera, there's some texture from the canvas on my clay. I want to smooth all that texture out. So I'm taking my kind of like this motion, and I am just smoothing out all of my clay. And this is called ribbing your clay, and I want you to go, if you get any buildup on there, just wipe it off. I want you to go a couple different directions, and this is going to strengthen our clay and keep it from cracking in the kiln. I'm not trying to push it down really hard, I'm just smoothing everything out. Okay, and once you do one side, I want you to flip your clay over and do the other side. Same thing. I'm going to smooth out in a couple different directions all the little print that you see on the clay. And again, I'm not gouging my clay, and I'm not trying to make it bigger or thinner. Your clay is about 1/4 inch thick, and we want it that thick so that your ornament turns out really nice and sturdy after it's been fired. Okie dokie. So now I got it all nice and ribbed. Really important part right here, folks. I want you to lift your clay back up and release it and put it back down after you have ribbed it, because you've now pushed your clay into the paper plate, into the saran wrap. Sorry, I'm banging trying to find a comfortable spot to sit here, banging the table. And now we're going to take our template that we cut out, we're going to find a place on our slab, and I want you to put it down and take our needle tool, and we're going to come in here and we're going to cut right around the edge. Now don't worry, it does not have to be right up on the edge. I'm going straight down and cutting. If I get some buildup like that, I'm just going to wipe it off and put it to the side. I'm going to come in here straight up and down, drag it along. There we go. Do the same thing all the way around. So this extra clay, I would like you to just squish, and all your little extra clay, set it aside. Any little extra clay. Come in here, do this guy. Okay, little extra clay that's building up. It's really important to get that extra clay that's building up off. Otherwise, it won't cut nice and smooth through your clay. Okay, got a little extra clay. I'm going to stick it over there. through here and just cut all the way down. Get that little extra clay off. And I'm going to take all of this extra clay that I have here now. Please do not make additional ornaments or pieces with this clay for us to fire. Prices are based on the craft that we provide. So please don't make a bunch of little guys with this and expect us to fire them. So take this extra little bit, put it back into your baggie and seal it up. So now it's in your baggie, just sealed up. I'm just going to roll it up there a couple times and put it right there. Okay, so we don't need that anymore. So now I have my little tree. I'm going to take off my template, put that aside. I'm going to loosen him again. There we go. So it's not sticking to the plastic. And I'm going to take my sponge that is just damp. If you look and I wring it out, no water comes out of it, but it is damp. So if you look at my hand, see that shine? It's damp, but it's not wet. It's important that you don't get your clay super wet because it'll make mud. So we are just going to go along and we're going to smooth, and I'm just using the edge, smooth all of the edges on one side here, because we don't want any sharp edges on our Christmas tree. And I'm just going to smooth, smooth, smooth. And I'm kind of just taking my finger, taking this edge and just going in one direction, not back and forth, and smoothing as I turn my plate, smoothing down. Now, this is an important step because the more time you spend prepping your tree, the nicer it will look when it's all done. And I'm not worried about the other side right now. I only want to do this one side. There we go. So now every little edge is nice and smooth. Okie dokie. Because we have lots of people making these trees, at this point, I want you to take your needle tool and I want you to write your name in the back lightly. I'm going to put WOA for work of art, and I'm just going to put the year 2021. And there we go. So now I know that is my tree. Okay, so now that we got that done, I'm going to take this little guy and I'm going to flip him over. There we go. Now we have this side that needs to be smooth. So I'm going to come in just gently, my edge. Again, I've never gotten my sponge wet, or wetter again. I've just got it damp the first time and I wrung it out. Okay, so I'm smoothing all of these little edges because I want it to be nice and smooth. I don't want it to cut me when it comes out of the kiln. It'll be sharp. Okay, just smoothing all the little edges. Go. I'm sorry if this table is wiggling in the camera. I didn't even think about it when I put it on there. So you might have to take a motion sickness pill before you watch this. I'm sorry. Okay, so now we have all of our little sides. All of our little sides smoothed. Now you get to make some decisions. Okay, and if you want to take your finger, you can even take your finger, smooth off anything. Okie dokie. Now you get to make some decisions. If this little guy right here, I did not paint green first. Now, if you paint it green, you're going to have to let it dry before you put your fingerprints on there. And I'll go ahead and do that because it'll dry pretty quick. But I'm going to open up my little template here of colors, my little strip, and I'm going to get a paper towel for you guys. Sorry, this will be included in your kit too. And I just want to dry off my paintbrush. I'm just loosening up my bristles, and I'm going to come in here, I'm going to swirl it around, and I'm just going to do one side, just this front, and I'm just going down in strokes like a Christmas tree. So just stroke, 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 just like the branches would. Okay, go. Stroke, stroke, stroke. Go. Just like that. Okay. I go all the way down the bottom of my tree and make some little branches right there, just like that. Okay, now like I said, if you do this part you're going to have to let this green dry before you go any further. So I'm going to take my brush, rinse it off. That's all I needed with the green. Let me get a little drier so this will speed it along. And if mom has a blow dryer at home, you could do that. Do not dry your clay out too much. We just want to dry this paint on top. You'll see it start to get dry when it's not shiny anymore. Now again, be really careful. Do not hold your dryer in one place or it will burn your clay and it'll burn your glaze. There we go. So we are pretty dry. I have a little bit that's shiny still. I don't know if you can see just right here and right there, but that's okay. So you can always just let this dry on its own. Just keep an eye on it. Don't leave it out overnight because your clay will be then too dry to work with to get those little fingerprint impressions. But you can see here's shiny and here's dry. So now I'm going to make my fingerprints where I want my ornaments to be. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to use some red. And I'm just going to wash my brush out. And because my hand is an adult hand, I'm going to use my pinky instead of my index finger. But you can use your index finger, kiddos, because you probably have better control over that. But I'm just going to paint on my pinky. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to push down and make a fingerprint. Okay, maybe I'll do another red one. I'm going to decide where I want this guy. And I'm going to push down and make a fingerprint. Okay, done with the red, so I'm going to rinse that off, dry off my brush, wipe off my finger. Done with the red right now. So let's see, let's do maybe some blue. Get this guy open. Okay, I don't open all these at the same time because the glaze will dry out. If for some reason it dries out on you, add little bits of water at a time and that will rehydrate the glaze. It's water-based, so let's see, let's do another little one right here. Oh, so cute. Now, if you push harder, you'll get a more of like a fingerprint print, which is really cute. Okay, got a couple blue ones in there. Wipe off my finger. And let's see, what other color do we want? Maybe, oh, you know what? We can mix colors. Let's make a purple. So if we take our little card here, because we're not using it anymore, and we take, dry this guy off, take a little bit of red and a little bit of blue. And now you gotta think about the color wheel. What does red and blue make? Red and blue makes purple. Look at that. So now we have some purple. You could mix red and yellow, and that would make orange. You could take white and red, and you could make some pink. Let's see. All right. So now I have some purple. I'm gonna put that on my finger here. Go. Got on it. Put another one right here. And let's see. Maybe another one right here. And I think we need a couple more. What do you guys think? Maybe add another little blue one. This is where you gotta get creative. You know, enjoy this. Try my finger. You're making memories here. Let's see. Put a little blue one maybe down here. There we go. I'm gonna do one more little guy over there. I think I'll do a red one. You probably wonder why I'm not using the yellow. Well, I'm going to use the yellow to make the little tops on my ornaments. And I'm going to show you how to do that next. I'm going to put another little red one right here. There we go. So cute. Okie dokie. Now we can just leave those guys alone. They are ready to just be left alone and dry. And close up all my glazes. Please return your strip with your closed glazes when you return your tree and all of your other supplies. You'll return your sponge, you'll return your brushes, you'll return your little card, you'll return your little hole puncher, little needle tool. Okay, so now I have a nice clean brush and I'm going to take the back of it. And you can use whichever brush you're using, and I'm just going to dip it in the back of the yellow, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make a little dot on the top of all of my ornaments, and that's the little crown where the hook goes, just like that. There we go. And I'm just doing one little dot, just like that. Oh, so cute. Okay, now you get to make some different choices here. Now you could use white, you could use black. This little guy, and I know it's probably hard to see, I did a black line along and on this one, but I think I'm going to do something different on this one. I think I'm going to do white, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take my white and I'm going to make like little popcorn strings. Okay, so I'm going to take the back, I wiped it off, and I'm going to start at the top and I'm going to go dot, dot, dip it back in, dot, 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 and I'm going to connect it. Okay, if you step it in any little color, that's okay. You can wipe it off. You could also wait for your colors to dry. It's just for the sake of this video, I'm going to go ahead and do it while they're wet. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to go dot, dot. I'm just gently tapping it. Tap, 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 tap. Now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to come this way. See, let's go down like this. I'm just dipping and tapping. Come across. Now you can do this however you like. You might see, come this way. I probably could have gone that way and then that way, but we're going to go down like this now that we have it done already. Okay, I'm going to come across this one, and there are no mistakes. This is fun. This is art. It's all about you. Go this way. And then I'm going to come back down, go this way. Oh, this is going to be so cute. Okay, come down, all the way across. And it's just looking like little popcorns, isn't it? How fun. Now you could do a line, you could do black, like I said, if you wanted to. You could do all kinds of things. So I'm going to come across here. Okay. I'm just dipping in as I go, and I'm going to come back this way, and I'm just tapping in. I'm not trying to push it all the way through the clay ornament, just tapping. All the way across. There we go. Just like that. Okie dokie, look how cute that is. Now, you can even get more creative. You could put some little highlights if you wanted on your ornaments. You could do some lines. Let's do some lines on our bottom down here and with the black. Let's see. I'm going to close up that white. I'm going to do a little bit of a tree trunk down there. And let's see. I'm going to just do some little, I don't know if I want to or not, because I kind of like how those are, let's see, I kind of like how it looks like little branches, so I'm just kind of filling in a little bit. I still want it to look like branches. Maybe I'll add a little branch, there we go. So I just filled in my bottom just a little bit. There we go. Now, there we go. Looks like little tree branches. Now if you want to take your, once it's all dry, and not tomorrow, but once just the paint is dry tonight or today when you're working on it, and write the year in it, you can do whatever you would like with your needle tool. Keep in mind this is super pointy, so when you're not using it, keep it covered up. But there you go. And I do not want you to try and put a hole in the top. We will put this hole in the top when it comes back to us, okay? So now it is completely done. I want you to leave it out till the glaze is completely dry. Once the glaze is completely dry, you're going to take your tree, keeping it on the plastic, put it back on top of the plastic, put it back inside of your baggie, just like so. Once your color is dry, put it back in there, seal it up nice and tight with all the air out. Gather up all your supplies and return it to us, and it will take 1 to 2 weeks for you to get it back. Once it is completely dry, we will kiln fire it, we will drill a hole in the top, and your little Christmas tree will be ready for your tree this year. So don't forget to paint, play, and create. Come visit us at 5750 West 10th Street. If you have any questions, give us a phone call at 970-673-8472. This was Gail with Work of Art Greeley. Have a great day.